Yo, yo, yo. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the NSL Season 18 stream with your boy. Yeah, we're really excited today to bring you another great game. It's today we're going to have two teams that are right now kind of hovering around the middle of the pack, but we expect great things, both with a pretty interesting command team and excellent players. We've got on the Binguses, we've got Katzenfleisch in the chair. So we're starting to become more and more familiar with his play style. And we're excited to see that in action as always. We have some expectations, but the best way to get your expectations, thrown in your face is to carry them with you. So, we're going to pull up a little Season 18 web browser here. I'm going to take a look at the teams, and then we'll take a look at the scores so far between the league. This is through the NSL website. Everybody can get to this. It's not particularly clear, but if you click on contests and only click on the contest button, you will get to this page, and then you can navigate to individual teams to check who's playing on them and what their history has been. So we're going to go to Gorges Gone Wild here and take a quick look. This is Dream's team. It's the Dream team. He's the one who put it together. Dream's been playing the game for quite some time. I think he used to play under the name Happiness, and he's definitely a player who enjoys himself when he plays the game. It goes a long way to creating an atmosphere that is conducive for competitive play. So we have Dream, Pookie, Chalky Milk, Muff, Blend City, Night Fury, Bless Me, and Nightmare. Two night guys. So Night Fury and Nightmare. Night Fury, really strong player. Bless is a really great player. Blend is a really great player. Muff is a super strong player. Everybody on this team, this roster is pretty high caliber dudes. I think Dream has fielded a team in the last several seasons and has always been an active member of the competitive scene. But I think this is one of the strongest rosters he's been able to put together. And I'm really excited to see somebody who's as committed to the game as he is to field a really competitive team. Pookie and Chalky Milk, I didn't mention them when I was listing all the great players. They're also really excellent shooters. I think they come from more of a pub background, but they're definitely strong competitors. And Pookie especially can pop off. I would say the same thing about Chalky Milk, I'm sure, but I just don't know him as well. I played quite a bit with Pookie back in the day, just as a dude who exists. And let's quickly, before the game gets started, let's open up the Bingy roster. So, right off the top, you got my man Void. He slipped me a 20 under the table to say he's the best player in the game. He certainly is. He's the best player. So keep an eye on Void. We expect big things. Watch out for this guy on the field. Wherever he goes, it's going to be a disaster for the other team. But in all seriousness, he is a great player. I believe he plays Fade these days, but we'll see. Pycaz, otherwise known as Sectionaire or whatever his current iteration of his name is going to be. He's a really good lurk player. I'm not really so sure about Babbler, but Duddy's the man. I love Duddy. One of those guys that when I have him on my team, I'm just super, I'm like, I'm going to enjoy this game because he's a really strong player, but he brings zero attitude to the field and is, except for a beneficial one. I really like this guy. Very fun to play with. Katz is, we're starting to get familiar. Katz is the guy he's the man with the plan. He's always got something up his sleeve, and it's usually a couple more gates than you would expect. Katz, he likes to play this defensive play, and we're going to play on some really great maps today that we're a little bit more familiar with. Let me make sure. I mean, we'll hear the countdown timer in the game, but I'm just keeping an eye out on it. Oh, that's weird. My overlay is all janky when I swap. I'll keep an eye on the overlay and make sure it doesn't jank up like it did last time. Regardless, yeah, Captain Flesh, really cool. Evil Dave, not so familiar with. Wraithling, he's like, you know, when me and Wraith are in the gather queue, it's like a coin toss. You know, we're passable commanders. Yeah. No, Wraith is great. Super active in the community. Like helps moderate the bad clan channels and servers. He's just like a great community member, very competent player. Zapar is really scary to play against. You know, these teams are both fielding really strong rosters. And if we look at the global info sheet, keeping track of the scores so far, this is what we use internally to keep track. I think our boy Kopunga, who's a moderator for the website, he really put a lot of, I know it's just a Google Sheets, but he put a lot of effort into this, and it updates the score. When you interact with it, it updates the scores well, and like it does this cool thing where if you put in the score, it will color code the... Anyways, neither here nor there. Let's focus on what we want to see here. If we go back to the NSL website and go to the other page, we can see the rankings. It's sort of this ticker of the up and down arrow is like in their previous match, did they rise in the position in the field or did they decline? Binguses is on an upward trend. They've got 5 wins out of a possible, I think, 12 or something like that. 4 rounds apiece. We've had 3. This would be the 3rd. Anyways, so this is week 3. So actually, Binguses, maybe they have a really high win percentage, and the other teams have just played their 3rd game already. Either way, Gorges Gun Wild, I think we hope to see them put a couple more wins up on their score because I think they're totally capable of it. They have a lot of great players. It's going to be really, I fully expect them to get some wins. Although this is a really hard team to go up against, Cats and Flesh. You know, I think his strategy of having a defensive position, it yields itself to taking advantage of overcommitment from the other team, making structural mistakes about what's going on, and I think it will be incumbent upon Dream especially to make sure that his team is responding correctly. I think it's easy to see the defensive posturing and to get a little frustrated. I'm not saying Katz is gonna do this, but it's possible. It's even likely given his track record, but you don't want frustration to lead to poor planning. So hopefully that doesn't happen for Dream, and he gets to enable all the great players on his team to really perform at the highest caliber that they can. I think this is going to be a fun match today. We're kind of, as the season continues to develop, we're figuring out where the teams are falling in the general in the ledger of scores, in their position in the season. But I think, like I said in a previous broadcast, the one of the most competitive belts that we're going to be looking for at the end of the season is that 3rd place belt. And I'm not saying these guys are destined for 3rd place. Easily anybody in this season could get that 1st and 2nd place, of course, but we have 2 really outstanding teams that probably are going to be destined for those higher level positions, and so we're really we shouldn't, even if it's not like we don't have Snoofed or Salty or Elo in this, like those teams are an Alski, so we got like 4 really strong teams. anyways, like, I'm not saying, like, we should be excited to figure out who is this who kind of dominates the middle of the pack and feels really strong against a competitor that's somewhere in the middle here. And I'm not saying these guys can't go all the way, but third place is like, you still got bragging rights, you still got the belt, you still got all of that glory. So definitely should be looking forward to that. So we're still waiting for people to get in the server. There's a player or two on each team that is still joining up. We're joined, I guess Ranger's spectating. He probably is going to be casting on his own channel. Of course, my boy Ranger, he's the biggest brain in the game right now. So I encourage you to go and join him on his channel as well. I hope you stick with us, and because I love to broadcast to you guys. But make sure to pop in there and check out his commentary, because he's going to have a different vision of the game than I do, and it's worth checking out. I was really super bummed to miss Snoofed versus Salty Skulks the other day. That game was really great. I caught some of it in the VODs. Those teams are destined to be in those, top placements. So it was exciting game to watch and exciting to see. And I thought that Infamous did a great job casting it. Everybody has a different style. I'm kind of a rambling moron, giving you the play-by-play, hopefully hyping you up, making you entertained. But Infamous has really, really in-depth knowledge of the game. He's one of those players, when you play with him on your team, unless you're just like top of the top, you better be listening to what he has to say, because he really understands the game. So it looks like, yeah, you guys saw this in the chat already. I have the delay, so I'm just catching up. But I just saw Dream saying that Ritual is going to be commanding his team because he's not available at the moment. Probably joining in from some other place. So I really expect this to be it's going to be very strong. But there's a little discussion about the players, and I think, you have to, both sides, when you have somebody merc for your team, the way that the rules are structured for our league is pretty official, and we like to have it so that both teams have to approve of anybody who's swapped in their roster, and that's what's happening right now. There's some conversation happening between the two sides, and we will just be starting here in a few moments, I'm sure. So stick with me. And we'll have some more fun stuff to do. But yeah, again, like, gonna be a really exciting game. Zombie and Mineral are like some of my two favorite maps. We play them in on the Gather page. They're very much, obviously Zombie. It's like Zombie the game half the time. We play Zombie almost every night that there are gathers, and we really love this map. It's like, it surprises me sometimes. Like, it's hard to, in my mind, imagine what the structure of the map does to the play, but what makes a good map. That's like, it would be cool to internalize that and figure that out. I think there's some really distinct qualities of the maps, and I think that this one, it's just like, it's interesting because it has this. Most maps are structured in a way where there are 3 lanes to cover. You have 5 people on the field at most times for both teams, unless your commander is jumping out and adding to it, which happens all the time. But you have to split the resource, the most important resource of where the position of your teammates are. That's a body in a room is the most important thing for this game in some ways. And, you lose your res lane behind, but that's a artifact or a result of people breaking your positioning, getting past you, winning engagements maybe, but like the most important thing I think to do in this game is to really cover your lanes. So the interesting thing about Zombie is it's got a 3-lane standard layout, except it's more like 3.5 lanes. Because of the way that gravity it takes a long time to walk all the way into offload through gravity because of this little hallway. And offload comes out of pub, which is, it would normally be 1 lane off to that side. But in this map, it's got this kind of half lane, which has to be covered. You can leak through there as skulks. You can push through there as Marines, get around people that would normally... It's a little bit more direct than the res lane that it's directly adjacent to, and this allows for people to kind of get lost over there on that side, and that positioning is really important to hold onto your res, but you get there a little bit faster through this kind of cheat hallway, and on top of that, it just gives you a way to maneuver around. Now, I just like the way that this map is structured. It has this sort of, this through offload into pub, like we have this sort of structure, this S shape through the middle of the map. It's hard. You can't really go this way because there's no way to do it unless you're boosting through vents or you're a skulk or something like that. But you can get through the map in the other direction. And someday I'll remember how to clear this, but for the time being, just do that. Super cool, right? No, I forget sometimes that there's some really excellent spectator tools in this game. Like, the game was... I think the developers put a lot of thought into doing this, and I think in this community we feel a little... I think every competitive community has a dialogue with the dev team that is hopefully beneficial, but I think we should remember that this is our favorite game, or at least my favorite game. So we have a lot of things to say, to be thankful for, including some really nice spectator tools, and the game is getting started here, boys and girls. So I'll hide my little face because you've seen enough of me. And the overlay looks to be crisp and on point, so here we go. Game is starting. Let's see the splits. Some not great spawns for this Marine team, but they'll make it work. You're going to have a 3-2 split from the Marines, which is very standard, except, yeah, it looked almost for a second like somebody was about to build the arms lab. The aliens sending 1 down offload, also very standard, but we have 3 people going down into Baywing. This could be an early tunnel. You see somebody gorging inside Baywing as Pycaz takes a few bullets, leaving the room, allowing for the Parasite to go down, but not really taking the engagement. However, as I was trying to jump into first-person view, Zapar got in behind him and did end up clearing that Marine. So that is 1 Marine sent back. Oh, Void only barely able to get... Oh, Void, the best player in the game, about to go down. Ooh, horribly soon for a Gorge, especially because without assist chain, there's no way to build this unless you have a Gorge up. So now that loss of the Gorge with 1 breath away from building that tunnel, what a brutal result. And that's the gambit you take. Oh! That's the gambit you take when you go for this early Bay tunnel. It is a serious danger. Lots of little opportunities for this for this Marine team to define the game in this first couple of seconds. The openings of every game are very important. I think we underestimate how important those first 2 minutes are in this game. I think the state of the game as it is right now is pretty good, so that you do have the ability to come back. But early pressure can dominate the feel of a game, can delay life forms for so long. And Marine caught on his pistol, misses all of his bites. Duddy easily clearing Ritual. Ritual, normally the commander, but definitely a strong field player, We would have liked to see him land at least one bite. Could be complaining about registration. Server reg is sometimes a thing that people complain about, but we're doing just fine right now. And that tunnel gonna go up. Interesting positioning. Another Marine already into the res lane. This RT most likely going to die. We do have this Crag on the field, giving them a little bit more space to defend. But this RT is not fully assisted by these cysts in the back of the room. Normally you position the cysts a little bit closer, and I think that would give you, if they're right up against these two walls, the cyst chain bleeds into the center of oxygenation, and that wasn't achieved this time by Cats and Flesh. He had those cysts in the back of the room, so I think he believed that they were fully touching the RT position. But again, another big loss for Binguses. The beginning of this game looking very difficult for this alien side, who I think on paper have a very, very, very competitive team. So it's good to see that Dream's team, Gorges Gone Wild, is putting out a really strong open to this series. Pipeworks tunnel going down, eggs having to be bought, only one RT surviving, but you thought I was going to miss it. This is the kind of thing that wins games. The Marine gets there just in time to save his base, but not to save the IPs. 2 IPs, I believe, were lost. I'm not entirely sure if there was a second to begin with. But I did eventually catch it. Definitely going to set these Marines back. A huge win for the alien team. And if you look at the map, you can see that Marines are only on 3 RTs. So even though the aliens are on 2 and have been for such a long time and lost some of those early engagements, the Marines aren't super healthy. All of a sudden, that IP going down makes this game so much closer. As you see Duddy and Babbler on the back res, drawing Marines off the front line. This is going to be really difficult for the Marines to come back from. Oh, bless me. Here's somebody down the hallway, but not going to respond to the RT fast enough. Bless me does kill 2 people, so 3 aliens back on the spawn queue, but that RT does go down. Now Marines at a similar low number, 2 RTs to 2 RTs, 2 extractors to 2, what do they call them? They have slightly different names, extractors versus something. Yeah, Muff gonna unload on the Skulk, gonna be caught with an empty rifle as soon as these lurks come in. But these lurks are both low. Pyke in danger, not even, low on energy too, not able to get out of that room particularly quickly. But both teams have come back up to 3 RTs. Oh, Babbler getting sniped before he's able to enter the room. Void, best player in the game, showing it off. Yeah, I like playing with Void is really a good time because he's able to do some field commanding. He's pretty vocal, has a good idea of what's going on in the game, willing to tell you about it. He's a commander that's really useful, and he's a really strong player besides. Muff showing that his aim is on point. I'm going to try taking first-person perspective for you guys a little bit more often, even though I'll have the map up quite a bit. This Marine in offload, very important, but he's also about to get hit by 2 lurks. He hears them. Wow! Knows exactly where that lurk's coming from. Tons of damage coming out on both those birds. What a good little moment. And even though he didn't take any life forms there, he pushed them back to the hive. That means that Pookie's going to have a little bit more space. It's going to take a little bit longer for Zapar to get in this room. And Pyke only now coming out of the tunnel. Just little moments like that, you're gonna lose the guy on the off lane for sure, but the fact that you can push those life forms back to the hive gives your team a little bit more space to do this economic damage, finally taking this Crag. But if they didn't have that Crag in that room, they'd be shooting at the RT. Bless me, not able to clinch that lurk kill, but pushes them out of the room still nonetheless. Marines on 4 RTs, just enough to have a good upgrade path and to be able to med. 4 RTs, the minimum of a healthy economy for the Marine team. But the aliens are about to go up to 4-2 and have the hive position. Jockey kills cats. But Babbler behind, taking the res. We'll take Jockey's perspective as he tries to do a little economic pressure. Doesn't see the alien. The audio cues weren't quite enough to get him to look up at that vent. But that's hard to predict, and it's totally okay as long as you have one person on this off lane side, this dead lane over here, just pushing, holding on to resources, and making it a little bit harder for the aliens to progress. Pookie, caught in between reloads. Bless me, it's the same. Goes for the reload, gets the meds, clinches the lurk kill. Bless me, making an important kill in the beginning of this mid game. Hive still not dropped for this alien team. It's been delayed quite a bit. Third shell only now being dropped. That's probably a result of the fact that you had this crag in. You spend a lot of resources on holding positions, having that crag, having that tunnel that fell, losing at least one RT in the beginning of the game. If we open it up, we can actually see team resources quite a little bit higher for the Marines, and I'll get this overlay to go away, but this is pretty cool right here. You can see the deaths for Marines is starting to spike, and that's because lurks came out. In the beginning of the game, Marines it's, a Marine death much more impactful than an alien death because of the ability for the aliens to get back on the map so fast. The positioning of the Marines is super important. But yeah, we see fades coming up before a second hive is dropped. This means that Duddy is going to be stuck with 0 metabolized, no meta for quite a long time. The crag upgrade means he doesn't have a shift upgrade, which means he doesn't have a ton of energy. If he's going to hold this room and the Marines were putting on a ton of pressure, you might need to drop a shift or something. But gates are out for this Marine team. Nothing but standard upgrade paths from cats, or from ritual, no mines, no crazy gates, and he really wants to get to that shotgun position, but 2-2 with gates at 9 minutes up in this match is not bad, considering that the alien hive is not yet completed. Cats in this position that's just gets Chalky a little slow to respond. Had that moment of disbelief as he turned around and alien doggy just staring right into his eyes. A moment that could have been a romance, a lifetime, cut short by a little ankle biting. This is really nice play from the Skulk. He knows he's going to get a Marine from gravity, so he gets to the door, gets the parasite, backs off. This gives him a ton of information where these Marines are, how much time he needs to get out of the room, still putting on a little bit of pressure. Just the threat of hitting that RT and repair is going to be enough to slow this Marine down. But it's time to maybe get a gate in Baywing. Doesn't look like they will. They're pretty happy with these gates that lead to supply, and Pycaz can just parasite and slip by. Zapar getting pushed out more or less. Couple bites on this whatchamacallit. Definitely got that whatchamacallit. Duddy finally enabled by the upgrade, which all Fade players whine and love and enjoy. It's that metabolize that will give him a lot more ability to be mobile. Duddy, a really good Fade player. We're going to take his perspective as he clears Muff. Pookie, as he goes to save the RT. Yeah, hard to both put pressure on the lurk to scare him out of the room and to kill the Skulk. It's actually in that occasion where you have backup and an RT close to your base, probably best to kill the Skulk. Easier to kill, you're more likely to do it. And the Skulk and the lurk basically do the same damage to the RT. So might as well kill the one that is gonna die. You know, if you had another Marine in the room that could have helped you put some damage out, Muff in a good position, waiting for some life forms, but he's gonna get scouted by these illusions first. Hallucinations is what we call them in this game. Yeah, gates open. Void getting a few bites on, gonna get out. Void holding on for what? I guess he flashed his lurk earlier, I suppose so, because I haven't really seen him on a life form in a while. Pike has also almost to that re-lurk res. He could do it now if he wanted to. Tons of economic pressure being put on by this Marine team as 2 RTs die and a 5th Marine. All the Marines are off the gates, though, and the alien team realizes this. If the commander doesn't come through, there's no way this is going to be saved, and even still, this is going to go down before the Marines are able to hold on to the room. The Fade, though, has a lot of damage already on him, and Chalky Milk has the opportunity to kill this Fade. The Fade does smartly turn around and go for the other hive position, even though he's probably going to head through oxygenation had there not been a Marine there. He does realize in this moment that he has to retreat to the other hive, where it's much safer and he can regain his life. That was an incredibly important moment for this Marine team. It's sad to lose a gate, but if they had been able to clinch that higher life form, it might have been worth it. The Marines still putting the aliens back on 2 RTs as they hold on to 4. 5 for just a second, now back to 4. The economy for the Marines much healthier throughout the course of this game. Weapons 3 finished. Armor 3 started. Aliens barely able to hold on to their positions on this map. Duddy putting the team on his back as we have enough res for several relurks. Babbler almost to Onos res, though. What will this aliens team spend their P-res on? Again, the Marines, though, leaving the gates open. This is big trouble in the Marine commander's mind. How could you let my gates go again, you fools? As they're barely able to hold on to it. Chalky getting the clutch save on this gate. He's going to have to weld that up as Duddy gets through that Marine with a rifle and a Marine with a shotgun without taking much damage. He is going to go all the way back to base to heal, but that's just fine. Or is it? Muff in the middle of this room. No armor, not enough meds. Should have waited for a weld and a med pack there. Not giving himself enough opportunity. Cats and Flesh, what you doing, my boy? Go and Gorge. That's the answer. He's going to drop a Gorge tunnel, possibly, maybe even has Bile upgraded, and he does. Sneaky, sneaky boy, Cats and Flesh. A constant thinker. Always ready to go for a play. That non-standard thought process gonna pay off dividends. All the Marines away from their gates. This is the time to do it, Catsy, old friend. But nobody is there except for the Gorge. The Gorge, though, able to do a ton of pressure already, pulling Ritual out of the chair. The rest of the team gonna be hitting this gate. But meanwhile, shells and all the upgrades are in jeopardy. Cats and Flesh still hitting this gate. The rest of the alien team not quite able to get there in time. More concerned with the back of the field. Almost was able to take this gate and from gravity to supply. Muff gonna kill the Drifter, but is on the reload when Dundee comes back through this tunnel. This tunnel's still gonna stay up, which will give these aliens a position to put pressure on from. But honestly, they're gonna abandon it. The Marines have a gate right around the corner, and it's gonna go down rather quickly. But aliens taking the map right now. This is a huge moment for this alien team. Chalky, let's see if he's able to kill this Fade. The Fade doesn't want anything to do with him. 2 Marines coming around the corner, Muff and Chalky. Muff, excellent shooting all game long, does clutch the kill against Void as they push forward into Bay Wing. Plenty of aliens right around the corner, but are they healthy enough to take this engagement? Lurk spiking from afar. Marines splitting their position. Not particularly advised, so 3 Marines now in the room. It's time to build this gate. Super important for this Marine team to get this bay gate. This allows you to put on a ton of pressure. But what will they sacrifice? It's typically not kosher for you to keep a hold of 4 gates. It's just common knowledge that this is a good way to make it hard to reinforce the gates. It does take a second to go through them and to change their direction, and 4 gates just ends up being too much to handle for a lot of engagements. By the time you get a Marine through that 4th gate, even though it seems like it's so much faster, it just makes transferring through gates that much more difficult. Bless me, looking for some healing love. Marines 4 res nodes to aliens 4. Typically, when you're in res parity, you're feeling pretty good as the alien team. Hard match to call at this moment. 3-3 up for these Marines. Shotguns on the field. Charge is complete. We are fully in the late game, boys. What will these Marines do? Obviously, they're getting arcs, but will they be tempted away from the gates? Are they going to be able to hold all of their positions? Not recycling that 4th gate, but not capping that res node in EC. It's time for this alien commander to expand to EC. There's 4 Marines, count them, 4 Marines, all the way up here in this bay wing position. You got to be taking advantage of that, boys. And here we go. The Onos going for the gate. But Chalky already there. Jumps back through, though. I think that was a mistake. You know, only a... Oh, look how close the Ono goes. That is a quick Onos death. So it works out just fine. Gates, again, the most difficult thing to push in the game, the most dangerous thing to push in the game. But currently, there's 80 res of guns on the ground. Bless me, able to cycle all of those weapons. But that was a close thing for the aliens to navigate and for the Marines to navigate. The Onus goes down, but if those guns had gone down as a response, it would have been roughly equivalent. Oh, another fade dies. Life forms falling all over the place, and this looked to be the position or the timing for the aliens. Oh, Duddy getting stuck on the wall. Very unusual mistake for the Dudmeister. Yikes. Lots of aliens falling all at the same time. Sad position for this alien team. It's going to be really demoralizing when you lose so much. But Cats and Flesh, again, putting on pressure with a Gorge. Really fun to see that. It causes all the gates to temporarily receive pressure. You see the aliens really splitting their positioning well. 2 life forms on this supply. They're going... Can't quite choose if they want to be on the gate or on the power. But 2 gates in danger. Almost killing his own gate, Night Fury. He doesn't shoot it, though. It could have been a tragic mistake. Arcs coming out. Action all over the field. How can you split your attention this effectively? Both teams trying it out, though. Both teams putting pressure and doing damage all over the map. The Gorges are coming out, but the Marines have this moment where they almost could just walk in. No inks getting put, but the inks are finally coming out now. 2 Gorges plus inks is enough to hold off against an arc push if there's no pressure coming out from these Marines. But hey, the Hive's already at 30%. Pressure is coming out from this Marine team. There's not a lot this alien squad can do as the fade goes down. No Gorges. 1 Gorge still remaining, but he's the commander. He's got to jump in and out of the Hive. There's 1 more scan from this Marine team. The last volley goes down as all of these life forms continue to fall, as the PvE is getting wiped up, as the Hive goes down itself. It's hard to see a way back in for this alien squad. Really good play from the Marines. Again, this Marine team, very competitive. Lots of great players. I had sort of thought that we would see a Bingus victory here on Jambi, which is such a familiar map for so many of the players. But instead, We see a Gorges gone wild. The clogs being exposed. You know, I was trying to make a girls gone wild joke. That's such old pornography. Probably people don't even know what that is. Paying. Okay, but here we go. Finally, Cats and Flesh is supported by the rest of this team. Ritual, trigger finger on that observatory. This Gorge is going to go down for sure, but so does the obs. And all the higher life forms make it out. GG from Duddy, though. This is a game 1 for the Gorges, exposing their clogs and enjoying spring break here on Jumbo. Let's take a quick look at the accuracies. Lots of strong players on this Marine team. Pookie shooting a little lower than you'd like to see in a competitive match, but able to do plenty of structured damage. Right there in the middle of his squad with 11 kills. That's still an impressive performance. 11 kills and only 12 deaths. And then up on the top of his chart, we have Night Fury, the man I said to watch out for on this Marine team. He's the man of the match for this Marine side so far. Such a strong player, really big brain. Also one of those players that doesn't bring a lot of attitude. He brings high accuracy, but not too much. It doesn't give you a lot of guff. Topping the squad with both P damage and structure damage. This player, the ideal Marine, almost getting the top build time, too. Good Lord, Night Fury. Can you be everywhere at once? It sure seems like it. Duddy, a commanding 19 kills, only losing his fade at the very end of the match. Did he even have it, or did he refade as the game ended? Anyways, he had enough. He held his fade long enough to refade. I definitely believe it. Really good play from him. His team, though, I think it's all spirals out from that gambit of trying to get the original Gorge tunnel in Baywing. If you were able to get that just down a little quicker, the Gorge was a little slow. He was literally one breath away from establishing that forward positioning. And oh my God, what a difference that makes in this game. You committed people to try to save it. You lost your Gorge early, which is super important. And then you don't have that forward position. And then, Cats, he dropped this Crag in the back of Oregon, which delays the pressure, gives you more space to defend Oregon. But I think that works really well with the aggressive tunnel. Because if you got the aggressive tunnel established, they're going to be dragged off to that tunnel position all the time to try to break it. And then there's only one person on your off lane. Then that Crag gives you enough time to reinforce. As the commander, you can jump out of the chair. You can be actively working from the chair and then jump out. That Crag is going to give you enough space to probably take that 1v1. And instead, the tunnel goes down. It's easier for the Marines to focus on your 2 res points. You lose that early tunnel, you lose the Gorge, you lose a skulk or 2 in that engagement, puts you on the back foot for the rest of the game. And now, I'm not saying the individual skill of these Marine team wouldn't have led to that point anyways, but the fact is that's why it's a risk to go for that tunnel. That's why so many teams opt to hold on to the tunnel placement until you're ready to expand to waste after lurks come out. It's easy, it's pretty quick on this map for Marines to get out onto your front of your res lanes, to put that damage on, to put that pressure on. And so you usually rely on Zombie for lurks to come out, for the mid-game to be established, or the beginning of the mid-game, the early mid-game, the late early game, whatever you want to call it, to really be started to put out any expansion because of how difficult it is for you to hold all 3 lanes. So really excellent play from Gorges Gone Wild. their ringer in Ritual. Ritual is a great commander, but this team putting their best foot forward. And Binguses, we could have talked a little bit more about their strategy, a little bit more about their individual player performance, but we got to get back into this game, boys and girls. So, let's see. Let's see what Kissenfleisch does. Oh, or actually, sorry, Ritual is going. Cats and Fletch is going to be on the Marine side. Oh, already with a deviation from the norm. Your boy Cats and Flesh with an idea about how to play every map. And let's see if it plays off. Bless Me already in a really good position. He had a nice spawn and got far ahead of these Marines. Takes out a Marine in the middle of this 4-man pressure. Are you kidding? Pycast does take his 1v1, but doesn't realize Pookie is just around the corner. It's like they read each other's strategies as they went into this game. The Marines were pushing 4 people into gravity. Have you ever heard of something so ridiculous? But the aliens had 3 people there already themselves, and a good, really strong ambush from Bless Me. That's what makes that so important. Had such a scary moment for all those aliens to be rushing you at the same time. And the Marines are yet to establish a single res node. This is so slow from Cats. Again, taking risks, doing, his own thing, but will it pay off? Standard play is standard for a reason. We really do admire Cats' ability to be diverse in his play style. His thinking is really strong. There's no question about it. But in a game that's so difficult to come back from early losses, even losing a Marine or 2 extra when you have a 1v1 and a Marine dies, Babbler, knifing Night Fury. Pretty good stuff. But now Marines on 4 res nodes, that's just fine for the beginning of the game. In fact, it's a danger to go up into 5. It's a risk because 4 is enough to med and to upgrade 2 IPs. An armory. Ritual not going to be able to do too much in this base because of that. Should have just stuck that RT in repair, but now has the full picture of what's going on for Cats' strategy. Quickly getting through those clogs. 3 Marines in oxygenation. We're going to watch the map, but we want to watch this engagement too. Marines getting piled upon. Not really good LOS. A few life forms do fall. 1 Marine to get cleared. But I think they could have all been up here by the power node, and that would have given them a better chance to hold on. 3 Marines in a room like oxygenation should be able to really kill more than 2 life forms. Be a little bit more annoying. Speaking of annoying, it's 2 minutes and 55 seconds into the round, and we only now have Armor 1 started for this Marine team. Cats and Flesh, a notorious gambler when it comes to taking risks. Grenades, mines, armory, IP, all before Armor 1 even finishes. But now we see these grenades are giving you the space to take some map control. And the Marines, with 5 RTs planned, although not the 5th built, we're going to have this Marine, Zapar, coming all the way back. I guess he says, hey, I'm parasited in the off lane. Might as well go and just try to hold on to my res. Rotating all the way through the map, taking this very defensive position. Probably smart thinking from Zapar. Walking into alien territory with a parasite marking your position, always going to be difficult. But yeah, Marines finally taking some economic damage here. Armor 2 started immediately after Armor 1. Pretty good use of the res, as you see both teams not floating very much res at all. But only 2 RTs up for this alien side, though birds are now out. The standard play coming from Ritual the Commander. Birds are out. The tunnel is being established. That's how we normally see this game, or this map being played. 3 birds in the sky. Void gonna put some damage onto Pookie. Wow, Pookie almost dying there. I didn't see his exact health, but you can imagine he's on that black bar. Bless me going down, though. Oof, boy, these Marines shooting really well. Even with their non-standard commanding, these Marines are right on target. Oh, mine trap established. Will one of these remaining 2 lurks? Muff, overcommitting to this fight, needs to be bailed out by Pookie. Good lord, Muff going down, not able to clutch the kill. Void with the pistol, best pistol in the game. Void, such a strong player, the best player on the team, on any team, really. Void, the man, the myth, the legend, kills the second lurk. These Euro players performing excellently on the field, able to hold on to 5 RTs, grenades being used to clear the cysts. Duddy taking the back of the room. Duddy, such a strong player, but getting caught in the reload in the middle of it. And so many good meds from the Marine Commander. When you don't see the meds landing on the ground, that means that they're being correctly positioned. Pookie going... I love it. I love it. Pookie with the excellent ambush, but so many well-placed med packs by Cats that he almost, it's almost a trade. Ugh, so annoying. Okay, from now on, if we want to click on somebody, we only click on their name. It's a proper way to do it, because the game just isn't always my friend when I try to click on a Marine. Harvester going down. Marines on 4. Aliens on 3. 1 Marine RT being pressured, but we're going to watch the action. Chalky sticking his nose out a little bit farther than he ought to have. Night Fury not going to win his 1v1, but that's okay. That's not expected. Zafar getting ambushed by Pookie. Pookie having a really nice performance this game. One of the only lurk to survive into the mid game. Pookie, though, they knew where you were coming from, but he's on 2 bites, so Pookie able to take that fight. Night Fury not able to hold on, but Pookie all over the place. Pookie really showing up right now, really performing. He's a great player, but doesn't play gathers quite as frequently as some of the other players in this game. Not as many hours in competitive, that means. Doesn't mean that you have to play gathers to be good, but, it really helps. It's the best practice you can have for the 6v6 format. Pookie holding his team in this game. Such a good performance from my man, the Pook. Babbler taking on, not dying, Cats and Flesh, flooding him with meds and not missing very much. Really strong medding from Cats. I bet you it's going to be in the high 60s. That's pretty good for med accuracy. Night Fury doesn't hit that mine, but has to dance around the fact that it's there, giving him less movement possibilities. Babbler being practiced with his pistol shots, but being slowed to kill this alien. Marine res being hit all over the map. Ritual usually, oh, bless me, finds these mines, but he's not going to be able to take them out. He would have to lose his life, kamikaze onto those mines in order to take them out. Chalky Milk able to finish this. Ooh, spur completed. Second hive is going to be a shift hive. That means no ability to hold the Marines back if they arc, except you can rely on Gorges with adrenaline, but besides that, you have no advantage against an arc push, no ability to use the Veil to ink. Pookie just absolutely everywhere. These Marines will feel Cats and Flesh almost catching him with strategy. Damn, Pycaz almost taking Night Fury, sectionared Pycaz, whatever you want to call him, playing under his NSL name. I think it's a rule from the league that you play with the name that you're registered on the website, but normally plays under the name Sectionaire. Almost kills that Fade on his own. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. But this is interesting. I wonder if this just gives you what does this give you? It's 5 res. It basically costs nothing. You can hide behind it with this flamethrower, forcing the Marines, the aliens, to jump all the way on top of the flamethrower's head just to do damage to him. Really interesting idea. Haven't seen this before from Marine commanders, but, you know, could be standard from now on. Hiding this flamethrower in the gully created by the Robo. This is the kind of strategic thinking that we get from Cats and Flesh. Constantly using bone walls, though, and this kind of structure, you know, it's a little bit of a gamble. It's practically a bone wall itself. It potentially, with the addition of an alien bone wall, could really separate these aliens from the Marines, or separate the Marines from each other. Really, is what I'm thinking about. Blah! Fade barely gets out of the room, and the Marines not being cleared. Far out, boys and girls. Just the diversity of tools that you can use as a commander. Really good meds, but aliens say you're not on your gates. One Marine, that's sectionaire Pycaz, on the off lane trying to stop the expansion to EC. When this hive gets sacked, you expand EC. You know, you maybe even account for the shift hive going down. You can't really do much about it when it comes to arcs, so maybe you think you're going to lose it anyways. You're ready for the sack, which is what it seems like this alien team has done. They've allowed themselves to take the entire map outside of that room. The aliens now going up briefly. It looked to be 7 RTs, but it's going to shoot back down to 5. Once this RT is finished in Grav, the RT in supplies is most likely going to go down, but supply is saved. Now Grav in jeopardy of being taken out even before it is given a chance to go up online. This RT never going to extract even a little bit of juice. Oh, nope, juice being extracted. I lied. Oh, nobody here to defend this gate as the hive is dropped. How will the aliens take advantage of the room that they are creating by splitting the Marines? Not having control of gravity is critical for this alien team to be able to expand to pretty much everywhere. One Marine on the recap on the top of the map, slowly trying to recap, but that means there's not a Marine on the gate as a Marine babbler tries to put on economic pressure, but you could just see the little the Marines being pulled back and forth. My throat starting to get a little sore as I've been yelling this entire time. Yep, though, this Marine pressure, no shotguns, just HMGs and flamethrowers, but that's all it took to take out the last hive position. But you can see there's a chance that these aliens get all 3 upgrades going. That could be really cool. I hope we see that. How important will that be to winning this game? Will they be able to hold off long enough to even upgrade the hive? This room is so hard for aliens to push Marines out of. It's a big wide open space, and they've got HMGs. The flamethrower quickly dropped, discarded for the HMG on the ground. Those HMGs slightly more important. But this gate being so far back, it was safe to do it that way. It allowed the Marines to establish the gate quickly. But the fact is, this gate is pretty far away, so they're not able to retrieve those guns. It was called by the alien team to crush this position in gravity before the gate goes up, and what a good crush that was. Just as the gate was trying to be established, 2 Marines wiped off this map. This defensive gate just too far to run for these Marines. And Cats and Flesh, oh, almost kills Pookie with a mine. Their entire res lane now in jeopardy. It's time for Marines to try to trade positions, losing res to establish this gate. It's the right decision, but no pressure being put on this hive. Plenty of time to establish any upgrades they want, although they're not doing that yet. Marines crawling back out onto the map, trying to establish res, going back down to 3 RTs, aliens in threatening to go up to 5. Ooh! Metabolize only now being completed. I guess that's a result of you going shift hive. You don't need to get meta. You essentially get the benefits of meta from adrenaline. So you get your fades to go meta. I mean, to go adrenaline. And then you can skip a fade specific upgrade for a generalized upgrade for the rest of the team. Charge being started. Onos being upgraded. Ritual on a Gorge. Command Gorge. Now going to try to establish a tunnel to the top and waist, I imagine. Chalky Milk on this Onos. Charge completed. No Bone Shield as of yet. But Marines are not in this hallway. The Fades go and seek out the Marine holding the corner. Really smart play from these Fade players. Oh, what? Oh my god, clip that shit. I hope we get to see it. What? Can you imagine that, getting rifle-butted in the middle of that swarm of aliens as you try to escape, screaming that you might have received a bite or a swipe or a claw from one of your alien compadres, but who knows how that happened. All we know is that Pykaz has a black belt in judo. Night Fury taking a risk here, but Pykaz not able to get his weapon up in time, not really putting any damage out because he was throwing that grenade. Oh, so many bites before he was able to turn around and spot that Skulk. This gate is probably dead. Oh my god, it's going to be so close! Cat's not able to save his own gate. Only one gate on the map, and it's just established as his other gate goes down. Aliens and Marines switching positions so many times in this map, giving up positions while taking other ones. That's how this game should be played at the top level. This means this is an exciting, competitive game. This is what we want to see. Hives fall, but it's actually part of the plan. Gates fall and then have to be reestablished. Res lanes getting demolished, but giving you time to establish gates again. But only now, oh boy, only now do we see Weps 2 go up. That's 17 minutes into this game with Weapons 2 just being started. No shotguns on the field, demo weapons, and an advanced armory. Obviously, the advanced armory comes out first. But before, oh, Duddy trying to jump away from this Onos, but ends up jumping into the only pit in the map, maybe intentional, throwing the smiley face up as he falls to his doom, seeking out that self-kill location. Whoa! Always good to see. I know it seems so basic, so obvious, but Alien Commander pushing those PvP structures forward. That means the aliens... Oh, Pookie! Valiant lurk player that he was, missing several swipes in a row. Pykaz... Cats and Flesh getting, just never one to be told how to play the game. Getting advanced assist at around the same time. We've been waiting all game long for that to pay off, and it finally does. Crucial moment in this game to have your lurks up. No Umbra quite yet, but, losing a lurk at this moment, gonna be really annoying. Oh boy, so many gambits for the Marines, so many good structural plays from the aliens. A little bit of a gambit, but we see still, you had this we could have seen all 3 upgrades. Why aren't we seeing all 3 upgrades? It'd be such a pleasure to see that, but they don't really need it. I was really hoping that this would turn into a Veil Hive much quicker. But, they had advanced meta to upgrade. They had charge to upgrade. They had other things to spend their resources on. Cats and Flesh trying to beacon in order to push Marines through that. I think he was waiting for a spawn wave and then to beacon again to get as many Marines alive as fast as possible. But what he really needed to do is beacon immediately, jump out of the hive, avoid showing the grenade launcher, but also just totally missing the structure he was pointed at. Grenade launcher, incredibly effective against destroying buildings, but it's really bad at destroying life forms. Oh no! All the Marines wiped off, all the Gorges gone wild with another victory. 2 victories against the Binguses. Getting some points for the overall position. GG was called. Yes, they are leaving the match. Gorges gone wild with another great win. Such a great win. Playing smart. The beginning of that game, you did everything you would expect, as standard as you would expect. That was, doing as far as rituals commanding. But then going for that shift hive and being willing to sack it. And when he sacked it, let's find that position that the hive died. So the hive dies, shift hive dies at 11 minutes. Look at what happens at 11 minutes. 11 minutes is right about here. The aliens shoot up to a crazy 6 RTs. Crazy to have that many as aliens. And the Marines sink down to 3 RTs. That's what happened when they lost their hive. They were expecting it. The Marine team didn't have arcs to push in there, so they were fully committed to walking themselves in there. And we saw a Marine sticking back at that hive position for way too long, thinking about capping it, but never really doing it until slightly later. So when the hive fell, the upgrades already were out of there. They left. I think they were even planted in pipe. So that's what your NS2 brain needs to really crunch on, to chew on. So much of this is about positioning. But what happens when you're going to trade a position? It's not even about, at this point, it's not the position of the team that we're thinking about. It's the position of the strategy, the position of the commanding, in this case. Swapping locations so effectively. Ritual really, I think, planned to lose that hive. Yes, you want to put up enough defense to get the Marines into this. And Cats and Flesh, I bet you this accuracy was higher at the beginning of the round. He really didn't seem like he was missing meds in that mid-game. Pretty good efficiency, though, up at 80%. I'll try to check in with all people's individual accuracies as we get started on this next map. I was talking so much about strategy. We'll look a little bit more at the strategy, too, because Cats is always going to make it interesting. But you saw Cats on both the Marine and the Alien side going for gambles, going for non-standard play. It really worked out for a little while. That was like a really interesting idea to put that robo there to get flamers and HMGs before shotguns. I don't think he ever got shotguns in that last round. By the time he would have been able to do it, he was already too poor. But yeah, non-standard play from Cats, as always. It's standard that it's not standard. But look, he's got Marines doing, Pike has almost 6,000 player damage and didn't have weapons 2 until how many minutes into the game? 17 minutes, I think, is when it was started. Weapons 2 finished at 18 minutes and 17 seconds. Have you even ever seen that? But you know what? He had a strategy, and it allowed him to knock down a hive, to have a ton of RTs in the mid game. But And you know what? His players are on board. They know what's going on. They have that strategy on lock. They were playing the game he was going with them. None of them are going to be mad about this. They might be a little disappointed in the result, but they know they're doing this with non-standard thinking, and they're trying to show that you can do this other kind of play. But honestly, I think the man of the match for the Gorges this game was Pookie. Pookie performing way above what we thought. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude, Pookie. I love you, buddy, but you don't always expect him to perform that high. And he absolutely, like, Bless Me's Lurk is so good. It was the first to die. Pookie absolutely held them in that game when, Cats' strategy was looking like it was really paying off, but you couldn't kill that. That Pookie Lurk was everywhere. It was killing everybody in the beginning of that game. So important. So important. And as we look at individual accuracies, Section Aired and Babbler, a player maybe playing under a pseudonym, player I'm not familiar with. I don't get to play with this guy very often. But, yeah. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. So many interesting moments in that round. We saw very clippable moments. We saw that Fade getting rifle butted. How cool is that? As the alien crush comes in, destroys the gate, yes, but bop! Little bop. So good. Clip me saying bop and throw it on top of that little clip. Hey, don't do that. It's way too much work, but it would be funny. That bop and mine kill and just good stuff. Game is starting. Switching my overlay. Not making any mistakes on this cast. Hi everybody. I made this little thing and it goes away and then it comes back. Oh, never mind. It comes back. I also made that little wipe. That's whap. So, I'm trying to give you guys some content here. Mineral. We didn't even get time to talk about this map. It's very marine-sided, but it's one of my favorite maps. There's so many ways the games can go, and we see already Binguses expanding towards production. Really is risky because how hard it is to hold on to pump control. I mean, expanding towards production, but not all the way there. They could drop the commander could drop a tunnel. Maybe we're going to see tunnels between their naturals. I think that would make this a little safer. Gorge not clogging the door, not dropping a tunnel. I kind of disagree with that. Pycaz playing this vent really nice. This vent is actually really good because it allows you to bridge these kind of lanes here. Oh, Void. Man, the bravest Gorge, the strongest player and the bravest Gorge you've ever darn seen. Oh. Night Fury on the... baiting those skulks forward. They thought they were going to get him during a reload, but saving just enough of his rifle ammunition to make it last. Man, good movement. Smart positioning. Good use of the ammunition he had available to him. Bless me, taking some damage from these Hydras, but gonna push the Gorge all the way out. Oh boy. 4 RTs coming up for this alien team on Mineral. That's just unheard of, but 2 of them not yet up. 1 of them already gonna die. Or not. Pycaz comes in from behind and makes this clear official. That positioning to get behind these Marines going through this vent here, really good from Pycaz. Babblers on Babbler. Babbler is giving him that 20 armor shield. Oh, but the Marine, Chalky Milk, eyes on top of his head. Seeing, hearing, thinking that skulk out of the existence. Void taking some damage. Chalky, though, going to be on a reload as Duddy comes in and clinches the kill. Void there to heal up the RT, but nobody to save poor Pump Control's life
It's already on just 15%, and it goes down to these Marines. It's gonna die. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, the tail of the res game is continuing to spin on its head. No tunnel yet established. Their tunnel position behind this wall and drill site is so strong. Opting not to get it down immediately is a gamble. Continuing to gamble with his strategies as pressure is being put all over this map. This map already so difficult, on a razor's edge for any alien team because of how demanding this mineral map is. It's so demanding. I'm getting all Shakespearean, y'all. It's about to be the Tempest up in here. You know, like the tempest of a good match. Well played by both teams. One team one member kind of DC'd. Let's hope the match resumes quickly. Woo! Cat's taking so many risks, but you know what? It's paid off in the past. It's a really fun thing to see risks coming up, being implemented. Risks always fun to see, because of, we like a diversity of play. This is a strategy game. We want more strategies to be viable. We want more strategies to be attempted. Sometimes people give Katz a little flack because he's always trying something new. But boy, oh boy, it's fun to watch, and it really pays off from time to time. It doesn't. From time to time, it does. Oh, my Lord. Let's see if he can get a win on Mineral, though. Mineral, so hard. You see him floating 50 res. His res lane in jeopardy. Only now establishing a tunnel. I don't think it's close enough. This used to be where you put tunnels in Mineral, because this was like this window was like solid, so you could like stick a tunnel here and it would expand all the way over. But I'm not sure it's close enough anymore. Like the addition, like tweaks to the game, just make it so I'm not sure that actually sits the node there. Which you're not systing the node and drill. If you don't have the assist, if you don't have that ability to drop that RT, it's going to be really, really bad. Oh, the Gorge, talking about really, really bad. Only one to survive. Eggs having to be built right when you don't want to. Void. Wow. Not even afraid to even breathe a breath of healing spray because he would give away his position. Wow, pushing these Marines out of the room, even though he doesn't have full life. Void, bravest Gorge on the field. Wow, oh my God. These Marines realize now that they should have kept the pressure on. There's no, okay, this is base. This is base. They don't even have to fight Night Fury. They just have to get past him. It's better almost not even to kill him, but they do. This means he's going to be respawning, and the commander is going to be there, already out in the back of the field. Ritual knows the position he wants to be in, but isn't able to kill any of these life forms. Chalky Milk getting in the room, though. Oh, God, this is not going to work out. It was a good moment. I almost wish they didn't kill Night Fury, though. Oh, boy. Ritual having enough time, and that's going to be GG. Almost for sure. You can see them making a gamble to expand towards production, but that was everything. Lost the Gorge, lost the Lurks, lost the field. Still, though, Marines only ever having capped 3 RTs. Mineral. Such a demanding map for aliens to play. Zapar on Lurk. Gonna wait for Night Fury to expend his rifle clip. Plenty of aliens crushing Pookie, but that means a crush on one Marine means the rest of the field is open. Zapar holding his team in this by his teeth, not willing to quit just yet. That's what we like to see. Marines only now establishing Armor 2 and a knobs. You can see because of how low. Well, actually, it was 4 RTs this whole time. Did I say 3? I'm a little mistaken. But you can see, like, 4 RTs on Mineral. That's like a lot of money. It's one of these maps that's just naturally going to be lower economy because it's so hard for both teams to hold on to their res. It's, the map is sort of 2 lanes for so long, but then it's sort of weird in the middle of the map. It's easy for teams to kind of slip by one another and put on economic pressure. There's no good, it's easy to establish 4 RTs as the Marines, but beyond that, it's very difficult. Oh, nice clear by these aliens. Holding on to Gen for almost the entire game. Pretty impressive. Gen is typically not taken. Aliens normally opt to put a lot of the bodies in the beginning of the game into pump control to prevent Marines to going in there and quickly establishing a tunnel here on the other side of drill site. But yeah, not this game. Wow, bless me. Spending a lot of bullets to try to kill that floaty guy. My brain starting to melt just a little bit. I'll try to take the perspective of players and slow down my speech because I am just burning out a little bit after that first really exciting round. Just going to take a little bit of a breather as we watch excellent play. Excellent play. I guarantee it. That's how it looks at the top level. No RT here to chew on. Marines in danger of going down to 2 RTs. Aliens already there. Finally! Jesus Christ. Void again, though. Not in danger of not getting this tunnel up. Ah! Void, run! Oh man. Dies just as he gets into the tunnel. So sad, too bad. Marines taking the position, welding each other, staring this tunnel down, getting the meds they need, welding up again. These Marines gonna take this tunnel almost for sure. Aliens, what you gonna do? You gonna trade? You gonna push them out? This gate's being established. You gotta do something. Nobody's going for the one res node they have established on the map. Still losing positions, still barely able to hold on, but Marines also losing stuff. Oh no! Oh no! Gate pressure able to come out because no base gate. They could have stuck this RT. They could have got on this RT. This gate. They gotta do something. Holy shnikes, aliens. Gotta move a little bit faster than that. Allowing Ritual's mistake to go, well, it's not necessarily a mistake to drop the forward gate first. It really isn't, because sometimes you're in the room, you got the time, you got to drop the gate. Base gate's going to be able to go up no matter what, so it could be purposeful that that gate went up outside. Wow, you don't see this very often. Bless Me and Pookie have been close compadres this entire, last couple of minutes. They have really stuck to each other's heels. And they've been really good about finding the space to weld. So important. Sometimes it never happens. GG is called. This game has gone to Gorges Gone Wild. They've gone from 1 victory up to 4 in this course of this round. 1 victory on the ledger of the season of play. Binguses stuck on 5 victories. They're still going to be seated in the roster, one above the other, but will they become 5-5 by the end of this round? Let's see if Cats is able to put on the pressure on this Marine-sided map. Let's see let's get some Binguses in the chat. Get some Binguses in the chat. It's time to put the energy, your soul energy, to create, what was the Dragon Ball Z? Is it just Soul Bomb? Is that what it's called? It's probably just Soul Bomb, the level of creativity. When you're a young fellow watching anime, and it's not even that, back when I was a kid, anime wasn't cool. You were a nerd. Yeah, I'm slowing down. Like, my brain is gooey all of a sudden. My last cup of coffee finished before the game. Look at my cute little coffee cup, guys. I make a cappuccino. It's so nice. I got my water bottle right here so I don't offend your all sensibilities. I know it wasn't super popular when I drank out of the pitcher. Yeah, but okay. Here we are. Duddy again. Fucking playing so well. Oh boy. Oh no, not enough time. Okay. Oh. Hi, everybody. I'm the little guy in the corner of your screen. Maybe I'll leave it up for a little bit. I did spend energy making it. Oh, God, so thirsty. Oh, this is ridiculous. Hide myself. Sorry, y'all. Look at this. Meh. 3? Oh my god, all 5 aliens in the center of the map? That's so cool. What an interesting strategy, and it's working out. Although 2 Marines to be cleared. Pookie in a good position, but Babbler thinking that realizes that there's more to. Oh my god, what a god. What a god. I hope he has his some recording, because I would love to see that from his perspective. Sorry, I'm still like kind of gooey from the last round, but yeah, really cool to see that. They know they can get the RT and generator up before this guy capping in the off lane is going to get there, so they commit all 5 aliens to that, delay the Gorge but still get it. Interesting idea to have the Gorge still as a player on the field, but to not elect to get it early on. Really cool stuff. Is this how you play this map from now on? Let's crack the code. Let's figure it out. This is one of my favorite maps, even though it pretends. What's the word? Not pretends, obviously, but there's a word. Anyways, it really does seem like this is a Marine-sided map. It's so easy to put on pressure, especially in the first couple of seconds of the match. But aliens committing five life forms in the middle of the map and stopping the entire Marine forward pressure. If it wasn't for the valiant performance from our boy, the unknown Babbler. I'm sorry, I don't know him, so I'm going to say that. Void, best player of the match besides Babbler. Looking for the skull. Gonna find him, but not before Ritual makes contact. Void, not able. He was so good, he didn't expect to be run at like that. Really interesting from this alien side, and you almost never see 4 RTs held for this long, this early in the match, and the standard tunnel placement so strong. Gorge taking care of this RT, but not very well. The assist, strangely enough, bugged, not hitting it. Will Chalky realize this RT is dying? Chalky! Chaco! He does, just as it almost dies. 2 lurks almost dying themselves. I know, I was watching the drama of the will she, won't she survive. Oh, shooting his buddy. Doing a fair bit of damage to the fellow Marine player. Funny. Woo. Man, bless me. Warping a bit. Always annoying to fight life forms that are warping around. Hard to play as that life form too, but hard to shoot for sure. As both teams hold 4 RTs. This is going to be a high economy version of Mineral. Of course, it's not high economy versus other maps, but for Mineral to hold on to 4 RTs, even for a little bit as the alien squad, getting this second drill site position up so early, really impressive. Max being used. Cats and Flesh says, I will not be standard. No, sir. I shall use all the tools to my advantage. I really like this, actually. 3 Max does cap just about as fast as a Marine does, and only costs a handful of res. I think each Mac is like 2. I forget what it is. Maybe it's 2 or 3. I actually don't know. I'd love it if Ranger, if you're in the chat, to throw those numbers up. or somebody who knows. I'd love to know exactly what that is. But yeah, Armor 2 going to be at 4 minutes into the game instead of 17 or whatever it was. That was Weapons 2? Yeah. But it was still super late in that last round. Cast and Flesh not taking quite as many risks. And it's really nice to see these Macs in the back lane, welding in the front of the match, building, giving these Marines a little bit more movement options. They're not going to wait around. Security is one of these events that's really annoying. You can't quite be invisible to a Marine, but if you want to get a skulk out of that vent, it's really tough. And so the Marines just push past and elect to do pressure this new position, trying to be established by Ritual for Gorges Gone Wild. Ritual really having a good time on Gorges Gone Wild. Yeah, really strutting his strategic. He plays safe, but he plays smart. He's willing to deviate a little bit with that really interesting 5 skulk pressure or hold. There is an obs, so they do see this. Night Fury trying to bait Marines back, but this could end up in an actual crush. Wow. They finally get the beacon. Why did they push more guys in there? I don't really know. The Gorge is not lost. The Lurk is not lost. But you didn't need to put those 2 skulks. You could have got one of those skulks at least out on the map, putting on economic damage. 5 RTs to the Aliens 3. Marines are feeling pretty good about this. Their upgrades slightly more standard. 2-2 coming out with gates. This feels pretty good for the Marines. But they're in jeopardy of losing this engagement here. The Gorge is there. Bless Me, barely able to get out. The Gorge will die behind that. We don't even have to watch. But Bless Me does get out. That's the important part there. Sucks to lose your Gorge, but it's beyond time to transition that Gorge player into a Skulk biting back res. But Marines on 5 RTs, Aliens only on 4. It's really dangerous right here. I didn't see that happening. I'm sorry I didn't catch that, guys. But just as a Fade is being upgraded, one of these big-brain players got in there and killed the egg. Ouch. Always sucks. It's just so embarrassing and not in self-defeating, demoralizing. We now see a Marine team showing off their individual player skills, taking slightly less risks, and it's on a Marine-sided map. Really seeing a lot of these Marine players. Babbler with a commanding 9 kills in. That's pretty good for how short we've been in this map. Muff, a really good Fade player, but gonna have to be. Night Fury, such a strong Fade player. Really sad we didn't get to see him play Fade on this map. This is a big crush from the Alien squad. Muff already in. The rest of the team a little slow, but no damage put out on the Aliens basically at all. Zepar, what you looking for, pal? Looking for something, but just gonna end up shooting cysts. That's good. It's gonna not desist this RT because of the tunnel on the other side. Meanwhile, the crush did take the map for this Alien squad. Gonna clear the side they won the fight on. It's actually a pretty good way to play. One shell does go down, finally finding some good targets. Another shell almost gonna die. Void and Zapar both just unloading on these shells. Both shells do go down before they're able to clear. Even though they lost that forward position, they're able to reestablish it, though they're losing their back res. There's no RT inside of the center of this map, so the fact is that they're on 3 RTs all of a sudden, the lowest the Marines have been in quite some time. And they've given up their gate positioning. Pycaz needs to get some meds. Holy crap, who was in the chair? Cat being untypically, he's focusing entirely on this forward pressure. Muff, one good meat shot away from dying, but Duddy doesn't quite connect. Void and Duddy really needs a weld, Void trying to do it, but Duddy pushing forward to clear the eggs. That might be the right decision, but finally is welded up to full. Although Muff now at full as well. We'll take a Marine's perspective. I think we are in Duddy's head. Yes, we are. Let's watch it. Oh, lots of meds being dropped. Wow, really good that Skull to get on top of Duddy without even crossing the line of his vision, not even jumping in front of the Marine one bit. This Marine in the back of the room waiting for this lurk pinch. Bless me, going down. Really nice from that Marine. Waits for the Skull. Waits for the lurk to engage on the gate and kills him before he's able to move. Wow. Marines using their big brains. Pike sectionaire, missing a ton of meat shots there. Oof. Ow. Getting pressured out of this room again. In danger of losing yet another round of weapons. Will Zapar rush forward to grab those guns? That's the second round of weaponry we've seen fall. No, instead they're going to sit back on their heels and get arcs rolling out. That's the safer move, but that's already, I think that was 100 res worth of P-res lost on the ground, and it can be that quick. Marines can look in a commanding position when they kill higher life forms. It seems like, you know, the game is really going their way, but we just lost 2 rounds of guns, and now the refades are out from, or fade is out from our Gorge player, Chalky Milk. That means there's 2 fades on the field. Oh my gosh. Bless me. Gonna kill this RT. Really good on the off lane to win your 1v1s. So good for an alien to do it. You expect the Marine to win 1v1s on the off lane. It's really important that they do. It's really difficult as a Marine to play the off lane because it's so important to hold on to that 4th RT. Although that was their 5th RT, Marines in a good position. Arcs finally getting pushed out. But this gate is open. Babbler, the man of the match, not able to put very much damage out at all. Economic pressure being done. Oh, nice work from Knight. Every moment, every little victory is a huge victory. But already, Ritual electing to do the same thing he did last round of going for a shift hive, not having the ability to do anything to defend against arcs, really. But you can shift out all the structures. Everything but the tunnel can be shifted out. Everything. And 3 shells are completed. So this shell hive, I believe this is the shell hive. It might be, I don't know if there's any way to check which is which, unless you were paying enough attention to see which was established first. I think this is actually the crag hive. But yeah, so they slowed the push down in order... Oh yeah, let's just watch the violence. Oh, nice meat shot, but the whole Marine squad is wiped out again. Aliens on the gate. So many guns on the ground. A 3rd round of guns getting left on the field. This time 80 res falling into, sinking into the nothing that is their hopes for this game to continue. They've still got guns on the field, 2 more shotguns coming out, but we've lost probably 180, maybe 200 P-res in this game already. Lifeforms have to fall for this to work out for this Marine team. Also losing T-res in the form of 2 arcs going down already. The aliens are being starved, though. 2 RTs to the Marines, 5. The Marines can even afford to lose this many guns because they have so much more res coming in. You get a fade kill right here, and it's going to feel very demoralizing for this alien team. But finally, we see an RT being reestablished in storage. A lurk on the off lane looking for... Oh, no. Nice boost. Boosts on top of the Majig, the thing, and kills the lurk, the armory. Pookie doing a little off lane pressure. I think he was hoping to find the Marine on the off lane. Oh, Fade goes down. Chalky Milk not staying as Fade for very long, just catching his death as his body floats into the abyss. That was the important life form kill we were talking about earlier. The alien team very far away from the action, but they're trading. Yeah, this is they. Oh, God darn it. They're trading. They have no upgrades in here. They've got no RT in there. They haven't even reestablished this base RT. They're just trading the whole map. They know this is a goner. It's time to shift out these upgrades though. Come on. They're just gonna walk them out. But yeah, oh, Pookie. You know, they want to give as much of a defense as they can, especially on this map where there's really, like, what's the other position? Oh, it's production? Well, about that. Oh, well, Crag and Shift do go down. It's going to be hard. This is a lot worse of a position to trade, so they are going to go for the full defend. But will they be able to do it? No Ink Cloud available for this alien team. One of the Marines goes down in the back lane. Good wipe from these flanking skulks, but they got to kill these arcs quickly. That hive is going to go down in just a moment. But the arcs are going down too. Wow, really good from this Gorge. From the alien flank was so beautiful there. Muff is the only higher life form up right now. Look how little there is on this hive. But there's a Gorge healing it. And there's a second gate going up. Cats in action. Cats going for this. They're going to Dumbo push. This might actually be the right decision. In fact, I think it's kind of smart. This allows them to kind of Dumbo push without worrying about the gate behind them. And the hive goes down. I think that second gate was a little bit, you know, you don't have a lot of res on the map. Only 3 RTs established. So maybe not totally necessary. I mean, it turns out hindsight is 20/20. We know it's not particularly necessary. But now what the Marines do, we were in a position like this before where some trades happened, the hive fell down, it felt like the Marines were in a good position, but then there's this kind of, do we recap, do we pressure, what do we do? Everybody's split on the Marine team, nobody's on gates. This is a dangerous position. Again, we could see the game fall apart from this point. This is, you know, what do the Marines do? Cats has less of a plan when it comes to finishing this push. I think what you really want to do is get the gate in the back of pump control as quickly as possible with all your Marines. That's my feeling. Even if you're going to leave, except for one Marine maybe on the gate. You know, you have the upgrades you needed to pressure that last hive position. You can recycle some of the PvE structures. I just don't think this gate in automation is important enough. I think it would have been better to put on the pressure. You know, you can hold your res lane now becomes mineral and generator and production. Oh, but another lurk goes down. But this gate being reestablished in automation, I think, is a lack of vision. I think you really just want to keep the pain train rolling. That's my assumption in this. You know, I don't field a team in competitive play. I'm barely a mid-tier pick in gathers. You know, I'm usually the fat kid if it's a high-tier gather. So I really don't come from a position of true knowledge. But you know what? I think I'm right in this one. The aliens now just going to be able to... Wow, Babbler, so important how many kills he's been able to put on. But Duddy far outstripping him. But Babbler really making kills when it counts. Marines now able to go up to 5 RTs to the aliens 2 with the third one barely being established. I guess the strategy is going to pay off, but no pressure coming out onto this hive. And if they can just wipe this position in mid-roll, maybe they can reestablish their second hive. But Katz is proving me wrong. This is really being effective. He's using the Drifter being used with Adrenaline. Muff taking the split Marine. Still putting pressure on this gate. I think it might be time to try to... Ooh, Ooh, gonna run into Babbler with a shotgun. Babbler not gonna be able to spot it before, but Void is here. Void gonna not really connect with Muff, and Night Fury is there to give him a good exit. A nice, safe exit. Babbler putting pressure on Pookie. Pookie not going to make it out. This has been a fantastic series so far. This game is going the distance. This could be the game Cats really ends, and his wonderful team ends up taking a round. We sort of hope they do. Duddy putting a ton of damage into Muff. Had his back turned to that Fade, but still able to take him down to less than half health. That Fade barely surviving. This RT is so extra in the mineral processing hive position, but it's been so nice. There is so much res coming in for this Marine team, especially on mineral. 6 RTs is just an extraordinary advantage. Aliens in threat of falling back to 2 with a Marine on their back lane. Oh, bless me. Void killing Bless Me, doing a ton of damage to Muff. Muff getting stuck. Oh boy, scary, scary stuff right there. Very scary stuff. And this RT is going to fall to Zapar. Zapar is Zapper. I heard it was Zapor. What? Okay. What? I'm actually stuck. The game is bugged. Oh. This is very annoying. I'm trying every button I can press, but now we're just going to have to rejoin the server. Hopefully they didn't change the password on me. Sorry about this. A little bug in the game. Shit. Oh. Huh. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Come on, boys. Oh, that's so annoying. That's so annoying. All right, we're getting into the match. At least the password wasn't switched. Whoop. Yeah. Yeah, this is I sort of expected. Damn, it almost looked like the aliens were going to push all the way to the gate there, but no such luck. We want the valiant effort of these Marines to pay off, obviously, but also really been enjoying seeing how this Gorges team, calmed by Ritual, is going. I think I'd like to see more often where Shift is the second hive. You get to delay meta for a long time, and you just plan on trading positions, and it worked out really well in both games. It's a really fun way to see the game being played, and although in this map, however, it's really hard to reestablish a hive because there's no hive on the left side. It's a 4-hive map. That's one of the reasons why this map is difficult for aliens. Yeah, I wonder if you could do an edit of mineral. Oh, ow. Man, every lifeform kill right now is devastating with only 2 RTs established by this alien team. Muff, really a strong player this game, has enough to re-lurk if he died. He would probably have to, even though he's not a lurk player, just because if they wanted to stick in the round, they would need... Oh boy, Gates, Weapons 3 started, Armor 3 already up, and jetpacks. Yeah, this is a Marine victory in just moments, most likely. Bless Me, looking for some economic damage. RT's trying to be reestablished in pump. Zepar doing half of Muff's HP already. Babbler coming in the room. Babbler's been really dominant this game. Good meds from Cats. Oh, Babbler does clutch the important moments. You know, he hasn't been doing a ton of... He's just been on the off lane a little bit. He's been solo a lot, but he's been getting kills solo. And while he's not at the top of his team, I've caught him so many times taking really important engagements and winning them. So he is still sort of, even though Duddy has 10 more kills than him and is playing really, really, really well, I sort of am giving the man of the match that moment where he killed those... Oh, Muff! Finally falling. That's going to be a GG. Give it 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, I didn't call it this time. Usually I call it, and I'm a genius like that. Only joking. But normally I am close. I would GG. I would GG in this moment. But you got a relurk from Muff if you want it. You've got a relurk from Blessed Knight in just a moment. Drill site tunnel being established. They're going to go for a drill hive. I like it. Now this cyst, you want it close enough to the RT so you can drop the RT, but I think he did it intentionally just a little bit too far away. Oh, yikes. Oh, no! I missed it again! Oh, the tail of the game. How different would it be? Oh, that's 2 lurk eggs. I'm just frozen in despair for these alien players. That's 2 lurk eggs in the course of 1 game. And that's gonna be game. Winning by knockout. No concedes necessary. GG for the Marine squad. Give it up to your boys on the Binguses. Finally scoring around 3-1. This has been an excellent day of games. I'm so glad you've been able to join me for this. It's been a fun one to spectate. So many good players on both teams. Really excellent commanding from both players. A difference in style, but Cats and Flesh really sticking to his guns and his unorthodox thinking. And really, it almost paid out in like two different occasions. I think his team was like totally ready to be victors, but just missed it by this much. You know, when strategies that are unorthodox don't work, we call them bad, but really none of them were bad. None of them were mistakes. Muff really performing well. Pookie had a game where he got to really establish himself as an excellent comp player. There's great play on both teams. It's been such a pleasure to watch these games. You know, we've seen some really great teams all season long, and like, you know, these are sort of teams that are vying for the position. We've got 6 wins on the Binguses, and now Gorges now has 4 wins, so they're in the middle of the pack in terms of the seeding of the leaderboard. But yeah, I mean, like, what a pleasure to watch these guys duke it out. It's been a great series today. And I hope everybody is happy. And I'm going to minimize to highlight this player who is a scholar. I like to say at the end of all my broadcasts, although the last 2 broadcasts I've cut it off before the stream was finally finished. But I'm officially, when I sign out, I'm going to sign out now and then continue talking because I forgot both last time to continue the stream before the sign out was complete. But GG, love you all, have great games, and go gather. That's my outro. That's my line du jour. But I'll just hit it with you now. My catchphrase. Let's take a quick look at the stats from that last game. Yeah, Duddy, not with like shockingly high accuracy, but with 33 kills and 16 deaths. Man, you give this guy the right kind of support, the right kind of upgrade path. And I'm not saying Cats' non-standard play is what's holding Duddy back, but boy, you give him 2-2 with Gates behind him and a shotgun shortly thereafter, and this guy is absolutely decimating the competition. What a god. We saw 2 fade eggs go down during that game, so maybe we would have seen a different alien performance had that not happened, but like, Jesus. Duddy with the real nice KDA, and Muff. Muff on the other team held his fade all the way until he had refade res. If he hadn't have lost his egg in the end of that last game, we could have seen this dragged out a little bit longer, although it looked very dominant from the Marine team from that last 5-10 minutes. I don't really remember. But yes, let's take a quick look at the strategy, which this is about as standard as I've ever seen Cats play, and still not going for Armor 2 until when? Wait. Where is it? I'm freaking dyslexic. Yeah, it's right after the observatory. I just can't see sometimes. My brain. I am a bit dyslexic on the realsies. Not just naming ailments for fun. My brain, although vast in its oral capabilities, is not so great at reading. So, yeah. Condolences to me. 6-minute weapons 2, a little later than some people, but definitely right on track. Gates were established, guns were established, shotguns were a little bit later than that, but yeah, man, like, Cats, you're such a good commander. Your micro is really high. Let's see what his med pack accuracy there. 50 is acceptable. It's more than acceptable. It's actually good. It used to be that the lock-on was slightly better. It was slightly more forgiving if you dropped a med pack on the foot of your Marine and it wasn't quite on point. It would lock on to the Marine and he would receive those meds. But the lock-on became smaller to make competitive more competitive, to allow people to express their skill. But in terms, so that it wasn't a nerf, there's some amount of HP that is immediately delivered, and there's some amount of HP that is delivered over like the 0.5 seconds later. And so when you're getting bit by an alien actively, it changes the ability for your commander to be able to spam meds through the biting. And actually, if you're up against a single lurk, you can out-med the damage that's incoming if you don't miss a med, now with the slight tweak to the med pack working. But because of the lock-on being less forgiving, it's actually really hard to do that. And when that change happened, 50% accuracy for med packs actually is pretty good. It used to be much higher to be considered good, but if you get like 60-65% med accuracy, you're winning engagements from the commander chair. That's at the point where you're just winning engagements for your team. So anyways, I like to launch into little digressions like that. It gives us something to talk about, to think about. This time, I think sacking hives on this map, pretty bad. You did see them when the hive... Where's the hive death? The hive death happened right here. Losing those 3 shells early in the match, also really painful. It was great of those Marines to get in there and do that damage. But the shift hive died at 16 minutes, and you can see... As the shift hive dies, they go from 2 RTs up to 4, and the Marines go down to 2. That's, again, the ability for a smart team who's utilizing their resources correctly, saving their PvE. Didn't save the PvE in this occasion. Almost thought about doing it and then lost it. They realized that they needed to hold on to the hive. As they were thinking about sacking it, I think the call switched. They're like, oh, wait, we can't really... cap production behind this. That's harder to cap than the hive we're losing. So we actually have to fight for this, but he could have got that PvE out. He did get out all the upgrades. And like you can see, Trading positions, super, 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 super good. Especially with aliens where you can, and a shift hive where you can shift out the upgrades. And the only thing you lose is the biomass. If you don't over upgrade the biomass, you've skipped meta while allowing fades to have adrenaline. So you have an extra 20 resources to play with. And if you actually do successfully move your resource lane into a different resource lane and kill the Marines' resources, it's actually very viable. It's more than viable. It's a good strategy. And we want to see more of that. I think in previous season play, when the game was a little bit younger, we would see things like that where people were more... We played on maps which we don't really play on quite as much, like Summit and stuff like that, and the call to trade positioning, I think, was a more frequent thing. We're doing it again now. Ritual is starting to popularize it, and when I'm serious. Like, this is like the meta is changing every day. The scene is really small, so individuals with individual successes can really determine what people think are good. If you want to commit to playing gathers, to playing competitive, you have the opportunity to come up with your own strategies and make them work. And defy what people think. I'm just seeing Knightsy in the chat saying, I think if Cats played standard, Binguses could have won 3-1. And honestly, like, I love seeing the diversity of play that Cats brings to the field. I want those strategies to work. But track record in this game, honestly, like, those guys are all so good. You've like, Sectioned is a buddy, Duddy is a buddy. And Void is super fun to play with. I'm less familiar with Zapar and Babbler, but these guys are really great players. And Cats is good. Like, Cats can get out of the chair. He never does. But, man, I'd like to see Cats try a 6 on the field. I know that's totally not his style. It's super aggressive, leaving your base open. He's more of a defensive player. But, man, he shoots well. He's a tier 7, and he plays a lot of... I think he must play pubs out of the chair. I'd like to see him try slightly more standard play and even try a 6 on the field. We never see that out of him, and we hardly even see him get out of the chair as Skulks. Like, he's not one of those commanders that you see goes Gorge very often. He does occasionally do it, but it's not bad what he's doing, and I don't want people to say that. I don't want people to lament his strategies. They're well thought out, and they're 1 or 2 engagements away from working. Like, both of the previous games, or all 3 of the previous games they lost, were super close. They all were. They all had moments where it could have gone one way or the other, especially that first game when they lost the tunnel and an RT and a Gorge right in the beginning of the game, and they still almost came back. That was them, right? Yes, it was. I think, yeah. Anyways. Yeah, thanks for joining me, guys. Love you. Be safe. Go gather. GG, boys. Oh, actually, you know what? False alarm. Let's take a quick look at the schedule, because I need to refresh myself anyways, which is this overlay. Yeah, so you're gonna get Infamous again. This is he's really has great taste in the games he wants to cast. I really would love to be casting this one. Saltier Skulks versus Alski Syndrome. Ooh, that's a fun game to watch. That's going to be a fun game to watch. I guess it was Snoofed versus Alski that he had done in the last game. That one was super, super cool. 2-2. It was the first tie in this entire season. Those two teams are like absolutely destined for, top 3 positions. And I'm really excited to see what comes from that. But Salty has something to prove. We saw Ritual, who normally I believe is commanding Salty. I'm pretty sure I'm not confusing things here, but yeah, he's got a great team. He really got to flex his muscles in this match. I expect to see the use of the Shift Hive sack into all 3 upgrade path or into controlling the whole map. But we're going to see Unearth but better and Descent. Unearth but better and Descent. That's right, guys. We got Unearth but better and Descent coming up next. These are not typically played as competitive 6v6 format maps, but they are totally viable as such. More so than I think some of the other maps like Tanith, which we're going to be playing next. But we like Tanith. We're excited to see it work. It's such a gorgeous map. It really would be cool if it was a good 6v6 map, but there's 4 lanes. There's like proper 4 lanes, and that's just crazy. Like, our little 6v6 brains are exploding to try to think how you play that. So potentially cool, right? Potentially. But I think I'll probably be doing Gorges Gone Wild versus We Surrender. Gorges really put up a great game today. It was so much fun to see them. Of course, Ritual was their commander, but I think Dream is totally capable and will take lessons learned on how his team can work from Ritual's play right now. I'm not knocking Dream at all. He's a good commander. I've seen him do it. But I think we got the best performance from his team today. They played really, really well, and I think Dream should be paying attention to how Ritual commanded this game. I think that 5 Skulk holding the center of Mineral, I think it's called Automation. 5 Skulk's Automation was totally viable and totally the right choice, and Ritual was thinking really well and playing Standard, but playing it well. But playing Standard with the spicy addition of the sackable Shift Hive, very cool. So, yeah, guys, this time for real. Now that you've seen the standings, now that you've seen the schedule, now that I've talked about the strategies to ad nauseum, for real. GG's, guys. GG's. Love you. Stay safe. Go gather.